Okay, so I was able to pull this out like I thought it came right out. I just had to kind of get behind it a little bit and wiggle it. Been in there a little while. I think that's it. I think I'm just going to clean it out and see if I can't pull these out. These are like brass things, but they're supposed to come out and go back in. Like centrifugal force forces them out. I don't like the fact that there's rust in here. That might be a problem. But let's just turn this on. Okay, so that was the whole thing. It was just seized up. So I gotta get in here and clean this up. They do make kits to rebuild this whole motor. The pump, might get a rebuild kit for the pump, but for now I'm just going to clean it up the best I can with a wire brush maybe. As long as I can get them moving and I can get rid of most of that rust or all the rust, I think this is somewhat salvageable. I'm really upset that got water in it somehow, but it's my fault for letting the stuff sit around here for that long. Hopefully it'll still pump. We'll find out here in a minute. All right, so we got a little bit of oil in here, and I got the pump running. It is pumping. So now we can transfer all the drums, these things, and I have 3 more drums over here of really clean oil from a generator guy. And I got a bunch of oil and diesel fuel out back that I need to go get and pump in here. So now that this is it, I'm gonna get the 220 over here for the heater. The 110, I'm gonna plug in the centrifuge, and we already got the pump plugged in. I don't know if it'll self-prime. I'm hoping so. But we'll find out here in a second. I mean, that you can probably, as long as it's not moving around, you can just let that go. Just put a couple more around there. So like I said, this is going to have to be, the last time I had one of these, I had something about the size of a, it was a little bigger than that, but not as big as a 55-gallon drum. I think it was from a air compressor tank. I had cut it and I put a screen in it. And I had some material that was almost the same as this, but thicker, where any big particles and sludge wouldn't get through, but it was big enough to where I can dump. It would literally take a whole 5-gallon bucket at once. We're gonna get back into that. We're gonna get a nice thing to put in there. But for right now, we're gonna get that in there. Now, I noticed in one of these jugs, there was water. There was a lot of water and brown oil. So it's gonna be a real test of the centrifuge, see how clean we get this. Now, I don't know how well, this is gonna be a mixture of motor oil and transmission fluid. So when I blend this down, just to start with, I'm gonna do a 50-50 blend on the truck, just so I'm not overwhelming it. I do have a brand new fuel pump, and I will go get a fuel filter, because I had that exact problems last time I ran. It immediately started cleaning the fuel system. But we'll get there. We'll get it dialed in. And yeah, everything we have, we're gonna try to stick with diesel engines that can run this black diesel, man, and because I can get a lot of this stuff. So now I'll have to go through this pump here, just pull it apart, clean it. I think I had this one set up on a tote to pump it up. I think what I'm going to do is have this thing set up to pump oil off the top of a couple. If I set it up right, I can use that to have like 2 or 3 settling tanks and just build a manifold and have it pull up. We just have to hit some valves depending on what tank we're pulling from. That pump there I've never used. It actually came with my truck and a tank that I got with it, so I'll have to take that apart. Obviously it's probably needs some cleaning. These are some old water blocks I used to have. I mean, these things are so old, I'll probably just wind up getting new ones. I don't know if I can use them at this point, but hey, we're on our way. We got a lot of stuff here. And this is just going to be the first setup, and yeah, this is going to be the beginning of a awesome waste oil setup, man. It's going to be, I'm telling you, when it's done, when I have it set up, it's going to be one of the better setups that you've ever seen for guys that have done the waste oil. From my experience of running my filter system, the way I was settling the oil and moving it, I never had any problems with water getting into my filters. So we're gonna transfer all this oil that we got laying around here. I'm gonna go find the rest of it, and matter of fact, let's I think we got enough. We can I gotta get the heater started up, see which way that temperature goes. So let me get the power over here, and then we'll start running this. Now eventually I'm gonna have another manifold, a big pipe with a vacuum pump from like a boat bilge pump, like a bilge vacuum to suck the fumes, because that was one problem I had in the past, having fumes come out of this stuff while you're transferring it, while you're pumping it. But hey man, I'm super stoked, man. We're well on our way to having an awesome system. All right, we're ready to rock and roll. I just did a check on the bowl. I pulled it out, tightened up all the bolts, and we're ready to rock. Oh snap, I just screwed that down. I was gonna twist that a little bit. That's okay, we're just gonna let it ride. I can see the things. I'm gonna start the bowl. Go ahead and plug the bowl in, Oliver. We're gonna have to get switches on all this stuff. I'm gonna start the oil flow into there before I plug in the heater. I got it set on like 160 degrees, something like that. Let's see. Let's open this valve. Hopefully this thing will self-prime. We're gonna hit run. Oh, it's coming up. It's wide open right now. We're not gonna run it wide open. Oh, it might not pump it up. Okay, we're probably gonna have to prime it. Man, am I getting shocked by this thing? I think it might be shocking me. Okay, so that was unfortunate. Okay, what we're gonna do is actually run the pump in reverse and pump it down until we get a solid line, and then hopefully we can purge the air out of there and get it going. Bring it up so the air gets in here. Don't squeeze it harder than it's going to take it. Man, this thing must not be grounded right. You gotta get the air out. So fill that tube up. Huh? I think I just got shocked by it. I'm telling you, when I was touching this, I feel like I was getting shocked. Air's gotta get out. Okay, pump it up. Bring this line up. Bring it up. Pump it hard. Almost empty? Hold on, watch it. Stay tuned here. I want to get all the air out. Because we got no way of bleeding that air out. Probably building air pressure. Yeah, this bitch is shocking, dude. Why is that shocking? Why would that be shocking? That ground's not good? That's grounded, right? Yeah, but I felt like I got shocked by this before. See, I put the ground on there. Ground, ground. So that means the ground from there is no good, right? Yeah. That's obviously grounded. Is there ground in there? I can check. Oh, it is my ground. It's obviously grounded there. I just got shocked. It's not ground. Something's wrong. Well, I mean, the ground wire is there. On the ground state. Yeah. But if it's not there, it's not grounded. It's not grounded from the box. or it's not grounded in there. So I'm telling you, man, this place. Oh, look, we got flow. Okay, that's way too fast. Well, we got something coming out. Now, I don't know how to judge how fast. Right there, plug it into this thing.
Here?
Yeah. Oh, my 220 heater's got a different plug on it. Alright, never mind. I'll have to go to Home Depot and get the proper plug. Okay, well, I guess we're running this batch without the heater. Basically, to prime this, I had to put the thing in reverse, run fluid so it went all the way down, and then loosen this up so the air bled out. But I am having a problem with, I thought the other day I got shocked when I touched that aluminum back there. I do have a ground the way they say it, but just like everything else electrical in this building, we don't have a proper ground. And Oliver, when we had problems with that box earlier, he said that box is not right. There's something definitely. Well, would it have? It didn't have a ground, right? Or didn't have a common or something. There was something way off with it. It didn't have a neutral. Yeah. Anyway, the electric here is wonky. I'll have to sort that out. But I touched this pump, man, and it kind of got a little buzz. Let's see how fast this is going. Go dump this in there, in the funnel. And this too, or whatever's left. Just dump them upside down in there and let them drain down. Take that lid off. Let's see here. I think that's going to be way more than 5 gallons an hour. So we're going to have to dial that back. But hey, we're spinning oil. It's not the prettiest setup. I did spill a little oil. And we don't have a settling tank just yet. And we are pulling from the bottom, which is not ideal. But we're going to fill this tank up, see what we get out of it. And we're going to run it again, and this time by that time I should have everything else I need. I'm definitely going to put a T in here so that I can open it up, bleed air out, and inject oil, or put a T on the other side so that we can prime it without having to undo the fittings, where we can just like turn one of these over, dump it in, and let it go. But once it's primed, it should stay primed. If we shut the valve off down there, we should be good. Just getting it started. I am going to slow that down a little bit. We'll go down to like 15. I don't know what the recommended is. I'll look on the PA Biodiesel website or on their YouTube channel and see if he has any information on that. But we're cleaning oil, so that's a huge start, and even that seems like a lot. It's kind of brown, but there's a mixture of transmission fluid and I might just let this run for a little bit because we are pulling from the bottom. Who knows how much water was put in there? I don't know. I might let it run for about an hour, and then I'll probably stop it and check the bowl just to see what's happening. And I might see if I have a different plug end. Sometimes I have somewhere. That's the same plug. I'll just have to go pick up a new plug-in, and then we can run our heater on the next round. But I mean, it should do something. So I mean, honestly, other than trying to prime that pump, this was straightforward and pretty easy to set up. But I'm gonna let this run for a while, and in the meantime, I'm gonna keep transferring oil right into here to free up all these drums I have sitting around here. And I have two 55-gallon drums there. I'm pretty sure I have a couple 55-gallon drums out back I need to get to, and then we'll probably fill this thing up, probably fill this up. I'm gonna have to pull these down and rinse them out, because I probably have enough oil to completely fill 2 totes, and I want to get 2 clean totes. But we're gonna have to see about this oil. I think that pump only pulled about a quarter of that out, or maybe 2/3. I don't want to pull directly off the bottom, but we'll have to see. But at least our transfer pump is working good. We got that working. We got that working. We need to get the heater working. I need a better funnel system. It'll come together. But for our first setup, we are running. Now, I can't tell if it's, obviously if we had the heater going, we get a little better results. I still think we're pumping way too fast. So let's dial that down just a little bit more. All right, man, it's getting late, and this thing's actually been running for a couple hours now. We pretty much got 75, 50. There's no way that's 50 gallons. There might be 30 gallons, 40 gallons in there. She's been cooking away, man. No, no issues. So I'm gonna shut it down just to see. I got a little bit more work to do here cleaning up, but I just want to see like how much water or whatever is going to come out of that tube right here when we shut it down. Let me just wipe that out real quick. I had to change the bucket up because the other one had a hole in the bottom. Good thing I caught it when I was cleaning it out. I think what I'm going to do is shut this off and then quickly close that valve down there, so we keep our, hopefully that'll keep fluid in there. We'll let whatever's in there run out. I'd like to start it back up and just let it keep running, but I want to make sure that it's got too much stuff in there. You know, we're not, because then it'll just, if it gets too much sludge and too much water, then it'll all just, you know, come into this one. So even though this wasn't heated and we're probably running it too fast, I don't know, but I think we did get it kind of slowed down pretty slow. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug it, and then we're gonna see what comes out. Now, I did bring this fan over because this was getting hot. You can actually look in there and see how slow this thing is turning. It's not turning fast enough for it to draw any type of air through it. So, and a little external fan or something is something we're gonna have to look into on this thing, just to keep it cool. Let's see if anything actually comes out of the centrifuge. Still spinning pretty fast. Winding down. Very quiet setup. Let's turn this off real quick. I don't see anything coming out of there yet. Still spinning pretty quick. Now I am going to get a dedicated, I did find a Allen key for the size of the thing that I can just leave over here, a wrench to, because that's kind of deep in there. I put it in there like that, and I'll put the wrench on there to crack it. This is a must-have for me, at least, for drums and the little barrels and whatnot. Now, I don't know if how thick like the sludge is going to be. We're going to pull that lid and find out here. See what a couple hours of running this bowl has done, if it did anything. I mean, it's okay, it stopped, so I don't see nothing coming out of that hose. Did we even do anything? Was the oil that clean? I doubt it. We want to keep this kind of high. We'll have to get it close to our funnel over there. Okay, let me open this thing up, and then we'll figure if we actually. Oh! We got water coming out, or we got something coming out. Okay. Definitely looks like water. Put a little light on that. Oh yeah, look at that. Very sludgy and water-like gunk coming out of there. Now, supposedly this thing holds like a gallon, up to a gallon of water, so. Now this is where a spare bowl would be beneficial. Like, I could just pop that, loosen that one nut, pull that bowl out, slap another one in, fire this thing back up, and then I can go ahead and keep going, just keep running the system. Now, I don't know what the recommended, like how long we should let that ride, but I'm gonna just let that drain down for a little bit, and then while that's draining, I'll start undoing the top of this thing, and let's see what kind of sludge and whatnot this thing pulled out. Okay, moment of truth. I pulled the little nuts out, and I slid the locking ring over. Oh man. Definitely had some water in there. Look at that. Wow. So just looking at that, man, your filters would be clogged if you were just using a basic filter system. Oh man, I'm leaking. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. So oil control is definitely going to be a thing, but there is no way your filters are going to last. That was some dirty, gnarly stuff, not settled, okay? So that was not settled whatsoever, not even heated, and you can see all the stuff. I want to try to get I'm gonna try to scrape some of that out. So I gotta say, the PA BioDiesel centrifuge, Ultimate Force centrifuge, is definitely doing its job. That's nasty, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that bowl out of there now. I stopped my leak over here. Now, I believe they make paper. Oh yeah. Wow. Hold on 1 second, guys. I gotta get definitely gotta get a vent system going on these totes, because this stuff smells. I mean, you're dealing with dirty oil, but yeah, definitely. And then that's all the dirty stuff. That definitely cleaned out some nastiness. Now, obviously, with the heater, the inline heater, let me just set this here for now. We're going to be able to pull out a lot more. Let's see what we got up in here. So that's all the nastiness right there, and then out here is where all the clean oil would be. So I'm going to clean that out real quick, and I'm just going to let it keep running. We're going to run all this into here. I mean, honestly, what came out of there, I don't think that's even a gallon. So we weren't even filling this thing up, but it was definitely doing its job. I think it was definitely worth the investment, because this is the kind of stuff that would be clogging filters. I mean, even if you ran down to a 1/2 micron filter, you're going to be constantly spending money on filters. That was my biggest thing when I used to do this with filters. I had a bank of 12 filters. I had 2 6-step filters in parallel, so I can do high flow, and I didn't clog the filters up as fast, but I always clogged the filters. It was like the first 3 filters were always something that needed to be changed. But I'm pretty impressed with what that just pulled out of that oil. And that's not even with the inline heater, and I think I was running it too fast. So I'm going to continue to run this at that speed. Tomorrow when I get, or when I come back, I'm going to get the right plug that we can use the heater. I am going to get like a gallon jug that I have around here, you know, so I can actually see, you know, break it up into, we want our 5 gallons an hour, and then we're just gonna let this thing cook, man. You know, while I'm here working, this thing's just gonna be over here making me fuel. Let me get this cleaned up, and I'm gonna get this running, but that's gonna be it for this video. We actually got to spin some oil finally. I don't think it's gonna be as clean as I was running the filter, and if I would have slowed it down, but other than that's the biggest spill I had so far today, I think. And I could tell you, in the past, doing my other system, I've had some monstrous spills of oil. So I will be getting some sawdust and some oil stuff just in case, but pretty much now that I know what I'm doing, we shouldn't have too much. I did have a drip down there. I don't know if it was just from when I was trying to feed it or if that's actually leaking, but this is not going to be a tank that we're going to be using for this. I mean, I can use this tank for a settling tank, but I think what I'm going to do is actually take this hose and coil it up inside there, and maybe just take a gallon jug and zip tie the hose to it so that it's just floating in there, and I can just let it float on top. You know, a cheap and easy, simple way of doing it. I don't know. I think it'll work. I don't think I need to do anything elaborate other than, you know, coil that hose enough in there to where it can go down pretty far, but just float on top of the oil. And yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Go check out PA BioDiesel Supply. If you guys are into stuff like this, they got a lot of good information. There's he's got a YouTube channel. Go check out his channel, man. Give him a sub, help him out over there. He's trying to grow his channel, and I think he just got monetized, so go give him some views, man. So I'm gonna clean this thing out, and then we're gonna get back to making oil, and we'll see you on the next one. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard. Dancing. You ever seen your copper dance before?